Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jemima. This is a new series, how to deal with heartbreak, especially as a medical student. As medical students, having a heartbreak is one of the least things that you would want to experience because it is devastating. It would affect your studies adversely. Like, imagine preparing for exams and you're going through a heartbreak. God, that is terrible. It's not something that we want any of you to experience. So that is why I am here for you, to help you walk through that heartbreak that you have. People call it breakfast. I don't know whatever you like to call it, but for me, I will still call it heartbreak. So before I move into tips and tricks, like my normal tips and tricks, I would like to tell you about the stages of heartbreak. I have done some research about this, and it's something I wrote down some years back when I was going through a terrible major heartbreak. So I want to share it with you guys. So if you don't mind, join me. So there are 5 stages of heartbreak. So I call it DAB-DA. The first one, D, stands for denial, A stands for anger, B stands for bargaining, D stands for depression, and A stands for acceptance. So there's no particular order in which this should occur. So it's something that you would certainly go through. Probably some people may not go through all the stages, but at least you will go through 3 out of these 5 stages, or 4 or 5 of the stages. For denial, it's a stage where you just don't want to believe that this person walked out on you, or if it's you that walked out of the relationship, you just don't want to believe that this person did this to you, or this person have been doing this to you, or that's just what denial is all about. For anger, it's that stage where you just get angry at everything. You get angry at God for allowing you to be in that kind of relationship. You get, probably if it's a relationship that you prayed about before when walking into, you just get upset that, oh God, but I prayed about this, why did you say I allowed this to happen? Or you're so angry with a person, you're like, you cheated on me, or you did this to me, or you walked out on me, or you disappointed me after you said you'd be with me forever, blah blah blah. That's just a stage that you are angry with everything and everyone, including yourself, for even being a fool. Like, you call yourself a fool. That is the anger stage. Bargaining stage is when you begin to think that you can get that person back. Like, you try to reach out to the person, you try to follow up with that person, you try to bring family, friends and all that just to get that person back. That's the bargaining stage. Not everybody usually go through this stage. Or if you're not trying to bring that person back, the bargaining stage is where you shut the person off, like kick the person out. Probably the person is trying to get you back, but you refuse to get back with that person. So that's just what the bargaining stage is all about. Then for the depression stage, now you have gotten upset, you have analyzed things, and you are now depressed. You start going down a sadness hole. You start feeling worthless. You start not sleeping well. You start being withdrawn. You kick all your friends away. You get so upset over every little thing. Like, you just get depressed. This is a stage where you are so depressed. You just find yourself getting sad and angry. And for some people, that depression could actually lead to suicide, like especially when it's that bad. Like, probably you are pregnant for that person, or you have a child for that person. It's like the case is even worse at that point. So it's this point that you could lead, and you could dive into depression and eventually dive into suicidal thoughts. I have a video on how I walked out of my suicidal thoughts and depression. So if you are interested in watching that video, I'll put the link up for you. So that's just what the depression stage is all about. And the next stage is acceptance. Finally, it has taken time, probably 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You have finally accepted the breakup. You are finally, moved on. You're finally happy. You've released the person from your heart. That's just what this stage is all about. So now we've talked about the different stages of breakup. So which stage are you in? I know it's personal, so I don't expect you to comment down here. You can send your reply to my email. Okay, I think it's up here. So we've talked about all the stages. Now let's move into tips and tricks on how to walk out of a heartbreak, especially as a medical student. The first thing I need you to understand is that you have to forgive that person. I have a full video on forgiveness. I talked about my own experience with unforgiveness and how I've been able to walk out of unforgiveness. I'll put the link up for you. You need to forgive that person. I need you to first understand that nobody, and I repeat myself, nobody is obligated to be with you forever. not even your father, not even your mother, not even your child. It's only the Holy Spirit that is obligated to be with you forever. So I need you to let go of that person. It's that person's choice. The person doesn't want you in his or her life anymore, and you should understand that. Or if you are the one who walked out of the relationship, you don't want that person in your life anymore. You need to act. You need to let go. I know it's going to take time, okay? It's going to take time, and I understand that. I respect that, but you just have to let that person go and understand it's not that person's fault. It is what the person wants, and you can't force someone to want something. It's that person's choice. You have to respect that person's choice. If it's you that walked out of the relationship, you have to respect your own choice. It's something that you decided on your own. Respect it. The second thing I'm going to tell you is cut off every single form of communication with that person. After a breakup, that is not the time for you to start stalking the person on social media. That is not the time for you to start following up with their friends. That's not the time for you to call their family members. I bet that is not the time for you to chat up their family members and be talking all manner of, oh, I miss him or I miss her. You're just being it doesn't make sense at all. That is not the time to do that. You should cut off. At least, I'm not saying you should do it permanently. Someone like me, I'll cut off that person permanently. But for you may probably, things may be different in your own case. I'm not saying you should do that permanently, but for a while. Cut off every form of communication with that person. Block the person on all social media. Block the person from calling you, and block plus their family members if possible. If both of you are in the same city that you get to see each other all the while, you would have to accept the fact that you will be seeing that person every day at work, or every day at school, or every day in class. You have to accept it. There's nothing you can do about it. Just accept it. You don't necessarily have to act drama by snubbing a person and all that for the sake of your head or public image. There's what we call publicity stunts. There are certain things that you do just for your image, public image. You don't necessarily have to act unnecessary drama. That would not make sense at all. Just play cool. When you see in class or when you see at your workplace, just play cool. Hi, hello, walk and pass. But after school or after work, that relationship ends there. No stalking each other on social media, no making calls, no chatting, nothing. And don't allow a third party to come and start talking. Any third party that tries to talk any kind, if it's possible, block that person. I'm not joking. Your mental health is very important, and at this point, this is not the time to keep up any form of communication. I need to put this out there that this is not the time for you to start pointing fingers and throwing blames around. This is not the time for you to say that, oh, it's your fault that this relationship didn't work out. This is not the time for you to also say it is this person's fault that the relationship did not work out. At that point, you are not thinking straight. Please leave all the analyzing of the situation until after some months or after a year or so, until after you have fully forgiven that person, until you finally let go. Please, by tomorrow, the rest of the tips will be out. I remain your girl, Jemima. Bye.